The first time my mind was blown, I took a 40-minute break and put the book down. And then eventually I came back to it. So yeah, I some things I just was not expecting within the book, and I guess I can understand why it would be on that band. Welcome to the Timeless Dandelion. It's Lulu. Of course, we're gonna cover the Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. So this is her first book that she wrote. This book is about a little black girl, about 11 years old, by the name of Pecola Breedlove. She she pretty much desires love, acceptance, and she just wants the bluest eyes. She doesn't want her eyes, she wants the bluest eyes. So these blue eyes symbolize a life that's free of struggle, beauty, and just happiness. The exact opposite of what she's experiencing in life. And this book pretty much, well, the setting of it, so it's written in the it's set in the early 1940s in Lorain, Ohio, which is actually Toni Morrison's hometown. So in this story, Pecola's the protagonist and her daddy, Charlie Breedlove, is the antagonist. So some themes that I came across in this story were poverty, rape, incest, colorism, abuse, the idea of not feeling liked nor loved. Um, her life just starts off with some disadvantages, and of course that just kind of, it's going to make it a little challenging to move through life going forward. Um, but yeah, now a couple different areas throughout the book, some important references, I guess you could say. There's a part in the story where you're going to see Pecola details how she feels about white baby dolls. So that was like the first eye opener for me, where I saw how serious this was as far as the blue eyes and the beauty standard that society set during that time frame. And I know I could say for myself personally, growing up, I would receive like white and black baby dolls. Did I have a preference then? No. Um, if I were to buy a little black girl a baby doll now, would she be black? Of course. Um, Representation matters. That's just my personal opinion, but that's a story for another day. Back to the story. Um, let's see, some other important references in this book. I would say there's some dialogue closer to the end of the story where you also see how serious the obsession with the blue eyes were. And by the time I got to that part within the story, I was like, okay, this is a little weird. And the measures that she took to get these blue eyes was weird to me as well. I don't know if I should be using that word. But yeah. And this book also featured like the backstory of Pecola's parents as far as their upbringing. And so it kind of helped connect the dots as far as her upbringing. Things start to make more sense as far as, you know, the dynamic between her and her parents and what she experienced within the household. The first time my mind was blown, I took a 40-minute break and put the book down. And then eventually I came back to it. So yeah, some things I just was not expecting within the book, and I guess I can understand why it would be on that banned book list. The first time my mind was blown, I took a 40-minute break and put the book down. And then eventually I came back to it. So yeah, some things I just was not expecting within the book, and I guess I can understand why it would be on that banned book list, which is one of the things that kind of piqued my interest with this book. Because why is there a banned book list? I didn't even know that existed. But considering the time frame that the book was written and some of the themes that you come across in the book, I guess I can understand why. But at the same time, it's like, what you read in this book is not everyone's reality. It's the reality for some black girls. I was first introduced to Toni Morrison, not literally, of course, but through Netflix. There was a documentary on Netflix. I don't know why I have a thing for documentaries. I'm a little weird. Um, but there was a documentary on Netflix called Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am. And that's when I first got put on to Toni Morrison. And, you know, it was a variety of people in the documentary just talking about um, their experience with her, their experience with her writing, things like that. And everyone pretty much says she's brilliant. So I was like, okay, let me check her out. And this was the first book that I purchased. So it did sit in my Amazon cart for a little minute, and then I started talking to a cousin. I was like, let me go ahead and order this. And so I think I finished the book maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I want to say 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I'm glad I bought the book. Would I recommend it? Yes. Would I reread it? No. Um, I don't see myself rereading any book unless it's like a self-improvement, something that has some tips and tricks for me to take with me in life. But of course, there are some lessons in here that someone may be able to grab a hold of. It is relevant still to this day because, of course, you see that the measures people go through for beauty. Like, of course, I have makeup on right now. Of course, I have lashes on. To enhance my beauty, but let's think. Today is 2024. What we have going on? We have BBLs, Botox, weave, extensions, wigs, which I love. Corsets, like shapewear, stuff like that. It's a lot of different things out there to pretty much enhance our beauty, and some are more permanent than others. But that's the kind of that's the type of time Pecola Breelove was on at just 11 years old. So society kind of dictates the standard of beauty, and next thing you know, you have kids and adults that are wanting to take these drastic measures and make changes to their bodies before they even really get to love themselves. So it's sad, it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. I didn't share any quotes um, from this book, so I guess I can do that to kind of give you a little insight. Um, yeah, so I'm going to share a few quotes. I'm not going to give the context or any background. You plug it in and let your mind wander from there, and maybe that'll like prompt you to buy the book or something. There were these three ladies that lived near. I can't remember if it was like next door or I feel like it was next door. I could be wrong, but there were these three ladies. They were referred to as the Maginot Line. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But these three ladies, their names were China, Marie, and Poland. They lived above the Breeloves. Okay, so they hated men. Um, they enjoyed getting over on men, and they pretty much would share their experience with men in love, with one another, but also in the presence of Pecola. So here's one quote from Poland, one of the ladies. Um, so it says, "My auntie whipped me good the first time when I told her I didn't get no money. I said, money? For what? He didn't owe me nothing." She said, "The hell he didn't." So we know what they're talking about. But these are the kinds of conversations that will take place in the presence of an 11-year-old. Why y'all got that girl in grown folk business? Don't do that. Don't do that. Here's a quote. Actually, I'm gonna do you one better. Oh, girl, you can't read numbers? Okay. Okay. So this one right here kind of took me out because this was like weird. Okay, so there stood two white men, One with the spirit lamp, the other with the flashlight. There was no mistake about their being white. He could smell it. Charlie jumped, trying to kneel, stand, and get his pants up all in one motion. The men had long guns. He, the snicker with the long asthmatic cough. The other raised the flashlight all over Charlie and Darlene. Get on with it, nigger, said the flashlight one. Sir, said Charlie, trying to find a buttonhole. I said, get on with it and make it good, nigger. Make it good. There was no place for Charlie's eyes to go. They slid about furtively, searching for shelter while his body remained paralyzed. The flashlight man lifted his gun down from his shoulder, and Charlie heard the clop of metal. He dropped back to his knees. Darlene had averted her eyes. With the violence born of total helplessness, he pulled her dress up, lowered his trousers and underwear. Piece that together how you want to. But yeah, one of the parts in the story that I wasn't ready for. But it's some more in there for you. But yeah, do what you want with that. But other than that, yeah. But yeah, that's all I have. As far as Toni Morrison, The Blue Eye, as far as what I'm going to read next, discuss next, I don't know. But you know what? I do know. I'm just not going to tell you. You got to keep watching. Keep watching.